Hello, Exiles. This is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and welcome to the Day 1 update for my Frostblades Trickster in the new Sanctum League. And in this video, I'm just going to go over everything I've done as far as progression for Day 1, where I'm kind of sitting at the moment. As you can see, I do have a lot of my core pieces of gear with my Heat Shiver and Yoke. But I also have some weird wonky pieces of gear. I actually haven't switched over to crit yet. Um, it's been just under 24 hours. It's been 23 and a half hours since the league launched, and I played for almost 14 hours. So basically, just sleeping, taking care of the dogs, and eating, and everything else has been PoE, more or less. My current death count is 2. Which is pretty impressive considering I have less than 2,800 health. And one of those deaths was a disconnect in Act 4. I disconnected, I had like a latency spike and a strongbox killed me, or a latency spike by a open strongbox. So, these things happen, but currently only have map completion 36 of 115. That's because I have been doing every single Sanctum, and I mean every one, since the very first one that showed up. I haven't skipped any that have shown up on my mini map for leveling, and I haven't skipped any in maps at all. I've done all of them. I've got a decent, let's see. Oh, those are my relic effects. I've got a decent amount of relics. I've gotten a decent amount the way through. I haven't completed the whole thing yet, but I've made it to the end of the third floor a couple of times. So, yeah, just go ahead and pop into a tier 7 crater. The only thing that's really dangerous here for me is the vulnerability. And since I'm not crit and I'm still, I'll go over this a little bit. Actually, I'll just explain it when I go over my skill tree, but I am still precise technique. According to POB, with all of my flasks up and with max shock effect, which I might not always be getting because I only have a 4 or 60% increased ailment effect. But I have 1.5 million DPS currently. I actually had get an operative strongbox there. That's pretty nice. Get some scarabs. Having scarabs in the core drop pool is really cool too. Oh yeah, this is that weird map where you have to like kind of weave through the middle. I'm just gonna go around the outside and I'll go through the middle afterwards. But yeah, as you can see, our clear is pretty crazy. If I concentrate here, I made a little bit of a mistake early on. I went to a high loot filter because I had a lot of chaos, but then I kind of ran myself out of like bubblegum currency. Also, for some reason, when I updated my loot filter back into a regular strict instead of, okay, here's the boss, throw a frost bomb on her, hit my flasks, frost blink over. Yeah, so our damage is okay at this point. It took like 2 or 3 seconds to kill the boss, which is a little slowish, still a little bit lacking, but once we get crit, our damage is gonna like probably quadruple or something. I don't know, we'll see. Because I have quite a nice claw that I picked up for only 14 chaos, and I'll show you that. And yeah, it's so impressive. It's really, really good. I couldn't believe the deal I got on it. So, oop, I have vulnerability and corrupted blood on me, so I better use my corrupted blood flask. Just go in and do a sanctum real quick here. Can I show my, no, it won't let me show my setup. Okay. Yeah, I currently have a negative boon. Oh, skill points. Just gonna go up here and grab the additional essence. I have my entire base tree set up, but I've already shown that in all the guides and everything, and yeah, I'll go over it briefly after this, but it's the same start I always have. I haven't decided what league content I'm going to do. So this is Find the Exit. The cool thing about the Find the Exit ones is they can be really short. Generally, they're kind of horseshoe shaped, and you can find little ledges to dash over like that cut a significant amount of time. Like there's 2 ledges and it's over. So that whole thing was very quick. Let's see, resolve can't be lost in the next room, resolve recovered, maximum resolve. Chance to drop double coins. I'll go with the max, because then if I get a fountain, it'll increase, because those increase by a percentage. It's a very significant amount. So if I get like one of the 50% ones, it will 50% of like the 730 something I have. I have a little bit additional max resolve from my urns as well, but I probably won't get to talk too much about that. Tujin. I could do Tujin. Yeah, I'm just gonna do all the content here. Go ahead and take care of this. The harvest. Oh, got these lightning boys. Gotta stay out of the way of those. Blow that last one up. Go grab this. I only have one of my flasks automated. I bought a bunch of instilling orbs, and glass blowers too, because I didn't have basically any of either, and I wanted to get my flasks automated for when I switch over to crit. But yeah, it's been a little rough going there. What do we got here? Some tough guys, huh? Oh, chill freeze resistant, reflect certain ailments. Well, that's not great. You reflect chilled. That's just chilled ground. Never mind. Yeah, it's nice to actually be able to see exactly what the rares do, and there's some really interesting effects. I got one earlier that seemed like it gave me like a headhunter buff almost, because it was a molten shell, and I actually had molten shells following me around and hitting things when I killed it. I've also killed like 3 or 4 of this one that just gives you an absolutely insane amount of gem experience. Like we're close to level 20 gems already because of those. So big stuff here. I haven't gotten anything like super crazy from the rares. I'll get like huge stacks. Like I got 14 alterations from one, which is, you know, something, I guess. I prefer it not be. Oh, I should go do that Tujin as well real quick. Because I want to buy preferably glass blowers, baubles, and stuff from Tujin, but whatever's available, I suppose. Pack size, experience, immune to chaos damage. Okay, well, I'll just grab the pack size first. Actually, let's see if we can place this a little bit better. I don't want enemies to have more crit chance against me, so I'll ignore that one. And yeah, there aren't a lot of the big monster markers, unfortunately. Sure, we'll get the hasted one. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just want, you know, a little bit of extra stuff here. All right, haste and chaining. Chaining isn't really going to affect us at all. All right, go ahead and go right into things. Even though I don't have any of my defenses, I've just been charging into everything, and it's been fine so far. Once we're going to start getting our defensive layers set up. The one defensive layer I did have set up early is I did get 100% spell suppress super early on. I suppose we can. I don't really want to look at any of that stuff. Okay, good enough. There's that other little in-between section down there, but I don't really want to go do that right now. Check out the loot. Yeah, I almost ran myself out of wisdom scrolls, as well as everything that as well as everything that would provide me wisdom scrolls by selling it. So yeah, that's a little bit rough, so I had to go down on my loot filter. Okay, so first things first, we will go over the gear. So currently, I have this claw. This claw I got for 14 chaos. I haven't even had enough whetstones. I haven't been finding whetstones to fully quality it, but it has a lot of physical damage, as you can see, as a tier 2 Fizz roll Tyrannical, as well as the hybrid accuracy Fizz tier 5, and then it has a tier 5 flat cold, and it also has tier 1 attack speed and tier 4 crit. So yeah, this was 14 chaos. This is nutty. I'll be able to use this to get all the way up through pinnacle bosses. I won't need to upgrade my weapon at all. Eventually I'll want to upgrade it just to speed things up a little bit, but this is like adequate enough to get me through the entire base game, basically. Have a heat shiver. It's not particularly well rolled. I got this at like level 25 for 2 chaos. Tesalio Sign I got at level 21 for 2 chaos as well. I got a lot of chaos from the league content. There's like a decent amount of the floors just drop chaos orbs. I think I got 25 or 30 chaos, just raw chaos, for doing it through the campaign. So by the end of the campaign, including other raw drops, I had like probably 40-45 chaos, which is uncommon. Granted, it took me like 8.5 hours to get through the campaign, and I would have done it much faster, probably close to twice as fast if I wasn't doing it, or at least like my normal 5 or 6 hours. But yeah, I just picked up a Yoke of Suffering. In order to make Yoke of Suffering work, since we're not crit, I had to take these 2 nodes to get the freeze, shock, and ignite chance. Same thing with heat shiver. So I have 10% chance to freeze and then 15% from flash freeze. So we currently have 25% chance to freeze. We can't crit, so that's the only way we can freeze. Chill is not dependent on crits. Chill is just based on the damage. So we're always going to have the 30% chill, which is, you know, even easier to get because of these increased cold ailment effect here. And then I also have elemental focus and the increased effect. So I 30% chill everything. So I'm at least getting 30% more damage from the heat shiver from everything, regardless. But the way I have it set up is to get some freeze through those means. And I now have 45%. But once I change to crit, I should have like 70-80% chance to crit, and that will go ahead and give me my shocks and freezes, so I can just spec out of all of this stuff. I'll also be specking out of this stuff as well. I currently have exactly 100 spell suppress, and that's with taking the 12% mastery and these 2 nodes. So I am going to have to try to get 10%. I have the only spell suppress I have on my gear is 10% from these gloves, which these gloves I've had for a long time. They're very outdated at this point. Don't have any on my boots. I actually don't have life on my boots or my gloves, or anything, but part of precise technique is keeping your accuracy above the your life. Now I have it way above, because I did get depth perception. The reason I picked that up is in case like there's the or less accuracy roll that can go on maps. That way I can run those without losing 40 the 40% more multiplier from precise technique. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to do that. So it's a little bit of a scuffed tree. I had to improvise a lot. I also have Murderous Eye Jewel. I have 2 currently reservation efficiency jewels. So I have this one, which has 2%, and this one that has 3%. This one doesn't have any beneficial stats, but I'm probably going to have to temporarily use it. This one gives me global crit multi and 4% damage on top of that. Actually, it wouldn't be bad for a bow because it also gives projectile damage and attack speed. Oh, actually, Frostblade's the second component does benefit from the projectile damage, I suppose. So this one's actually like a decent jewel altogether. This one does nothing for me but give me the 3%. I am going to be adding... Oh, I should start leveling my grace for that. I was just going to buy a grace, but I bought 30 to get the amount of instilling orbs I would need to get all of my flasks rolled. Oh, I might have overbought them. Yeah, I think I might have overbought them, but I paid like 37 chaos to buy like I think it was 23 instilling orbs. Yeah, that was the case. And then I paid another like 13 chaos for 19 glass blowers, and then realized that I had to quality these and also craft onto them. So I ran out of glass blowers. Now I'll have to either buy or find more of those, which is why I was hoping for 2-gen. But yeah, I'll deal with that later. The rest of the gear. So yeah, these gloves have 10% spell suppress, some cold damage to attacks, and some resistances. They're pretty terrible. Um, this belt is this belt's pretty fine. I need the strength. I don't know if I'm gonna re-roll the implicit because I'll replace this eventually, and I only have one blessed orb, so probably not. But yeah, it gives a decent amount. Well, honestly, it's kind of low tier still, but it's fine. It works. 30% movement speed, lightning resist, and a crafted fire resist. Nothing groundbreaking here. These will be replaced with its Ziri's Step pretty soon here. This is a item level 39 ring that I found during the campaign that was amazing during the campaign, but is starting to kind of fall off. But honestly, it still, does its job. And the shield's pretty good. So I have like, I didn't go over the body armor, but yeah, the shield first. 12% attack speed, 80 life, a good amount of armor evasion, 15 all res, and 32 fire resist. This is actually a very solid shield. I bought this for 5 chaos. I bought the base for this for 5 chaos as well, just a 5 link. I'm going to be recoloring it to take out inspiration. I'm currently running Frostblade's Ice Bite, Inspiration, Multi-Strike, Elemental damage. Gonna get rid of inspiration for Nightblade. So, or I might actually use inspiration if I decide to switch over to Grace right away, because I'll need the reduced mana cost since I don't have the minus mana cost Elrion craft yet. The only good Elrion craft I have is the penetration on weapons one, which I can't use until I get an upgrade for this claw, which probably won't be for a couple of days. So, I mean, unless I'm really lucky or see a really good deal, I suppose. But overall, this is a pretty decent body armor. 95 life, cold resist, chaos resist. I don't have the Fizz taken as elemental rolls yet, so I just crafted life and mana on that, which was, it's fine. So gear setup is okay. I kind of already went over the passive tree. It's basically more or less the basic one that I present in all of my guides, especially my most recently updated one where I suggest you level with precise technique. But yeah, I'm gonna spec out of 4 points here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points here, so that's 9 points that can go into crit right away. So I'll pick up these 4 and these 2, so that's 6, and Heartseeker, and then I'll switch this over, and yeah, that Ziri's Step should cover, because that'll be 12, 22 that I drop. I don't have any on my boots. Even a min roll at Ziri's Step will make up for those points perfectly. So yeah, I actually have everything set up. All I need is an Ziri's Step, and I'm ready to go crit. So I will make that my next priority, and that will be that. So yeah, I just want to talk about some tips for the Sanctum, Forbidden Sanctum. So there's a couple of things. First of all, in Act 2 in, let's see, the zone right here, Fell Shrine Ruin, I found this out when I was going to get my Trial of Ascendancy in the crypt. You'll run into the NPC merchant for the content. I can't remember her name, but you'll run into her, and she'll basically tell you have to find something, and that'll allow you to start dropping and putting in these urns. So you'll do that. And also in the second part, also in Fell Shrine Ruins, you can get, and I just found this out from Reddit like 2 hours ago. I actually did most of my mapping without having access. I don't remember what they're called, but they're the ones where you get like a positive and negative that you can trade off. Like you might get a positive, a boon, and whatever the opposite of boon is, affliction or something. and you only get that option to show up if you find that in the Fell Shrine Ruins in Act 7. So make sure you get those set up. I didn't have the second one set up. Who knows like what kind of possibilities I could have had if I had actually, done that. So that's just something to note. So what I like to do personally is the first floor's boss. He's always the same. It's the candlestick guy. He only has 2 attacks that can hit us at all as long as so imagine he's here. You just frost blink over him and hit him from the back. He has exactly 2 attacks that I've seen that can actually hit you while you're behind him. He has like an overhead sword swing that seems to do a 360 rotation. And then he has like this, he shoots out fire in front of him, but he also puts like a lava ground underneath him. I don't think the lava ground underneath him appears until later, but all you have to do is stay like maybe like a small distance, like from me to this right here away, and with our frost blades, our extra weapon range, we're able to hit it. So you just need to stay slightly off of him to the back of him, and then he has, if you do that, he only has 1 attack he can hit you with at all. So he's a very easy boss to beat. So with that in mind, if you get any of the options for rewards when you complete the floor in the first floor, always take them if they're good. Otherwise, I would just say take when you're first starting, you're probably not going to actually be completing the Sanctum because you're not going to have the urns and you're not going to be familiar with the fights and everything. I would just take the first option to always take the immediate currency. Some of like the find the exit one that I just showed you during the gameplay, that literally took me like 5 seconds to get through the whole thing. I've had 2 or 3 chaos instantly to take drop from that, and it takes no time at all. So I'd say the league mechanics definitely worth doing, even prior to getting like the big exciting urns that hopefully I'll be able to get later on. I got a ton of like alchemies, chaos, jeweler's orbs throughout the campaign from that. So I think it's 100% worthwhile. A couple of other tips for the like boss fights. You can kind of, a lot of times they're very telegraphed. All of the bosses, their attacks have like windups and stuff. And there'll be like, sometimes you have to fight a bunch of bosses and there's a beam in the middle. There's a slow version where the beam goes real slow, kind of like the boss in Act 6 where it turns slowly, and there's a really fast version. If you're fighting the really fast version, wait until it's about to shoot and just run in circles around again. And by time you get, or just whirling blades in circles around it. And you can also blink over it. So you can actually, like, if you blink from one side of the boss to the other, or one side of the guard rather to the other, and over the beam, usually by time you'll have circled around once, it'll basically almost be expired. So you can avoid taking any damage during that fight doing that. There's also this guy that has like 6 or 7 statues that he has little lines from, and he has like explosive circles that appear on the ground. Very important thing here, he gets more circles on the ground for every statue you kill. The way you can make him a very easy fight, from what I've found, or at least that's what it seems to me, the way you can very easily beat him and not take any damage is you just partially damage all of the statues. You get him to like 3/4 or half health while dodging the circles, and you just do that for each of them. And then you, especially with our additional strike and projectiles, it makes finishing them kind of all off in a short period of time. And at worst, if you're not quick enough, you'll get hit by like one barrage right towards the end where he summons like 20 or 30 circles all at once. But I think if you have no statues destroyed, he only summons in like 1 or 2, maybe up to 4. But by the end, he's summoning like 20 circles that there's almost nowhere to hide from. So easy way to take care of that boss is simply by, just partially killing all of the statues and then trying to finish them all off in a very short period of time, so you don't have to deal with him having all of the things to dodge. So that's another tip. As far as, so there's various different things you can run into. The I don't know. The rest is pretty much just you try to get as many positive benefits as you can and try to get negative boons that don't affect you. Like for me, a lot of my not taking damage from the monsters itself is freezing and chilling. So when enemies have action, like there's one negative effect that can be put on me, affliction or whatever, that enemies can't be lowered below base action speed. That one actually really messes me up. It's not that big of a deal in regular maps because we kill them fast enough, but like if you have other things that make the monsters have more health or take less damage or something, yeah, it can be really bad. But there are also really good positive boons, like ones that give you a bunch of basically like, I forget what it's called, but it's basically like a shield to your health whenever you do something. Like, so you get 100 whenever you get an affliction, or you get 250 every time you enter a new floor, which at the base level of 300 almost doubles your health for that floor. So there's some big ones. I also got one that just straight up gave me 50% more damage, and that one was pretty crazy. If I was a little bit more skilled, I probably could have actually beat that whole Sanctum. But I just kind of started playing badly. It happens. I think I got too confident because I was killing things, and whenever something was low health, I would stay just a second too long, and I'd get hit when I didn't need to get hit. So uh, that's just something that happens. Overall, I'm having a lot of fun this league. This character start has been very smooth. I did like 600,000 damage as soon as I hit maps. It never slowed down. Having this extra strike is a complete game changer. It makes you feel like you do in the end game, basically from like Act 5 or 6, whenever you pick it up. So when you get this, probably right before your second ascendancy or so, from there on out, you basically have the full feeling if you have a fast enough weapon, like 1.8 or faster attack speed. You basically feel exactly the same as you do in maps with this build, which is incredible. It's really great to be able to feel that way. Yeah, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to switch to crit. You should see an absolute skyrocketing of progression tomorrow, because, you know, once I get crit, my damage is going to go way, way, way up. And next, I'm going to respec points. I'm going to get max spell suppression again through its Series step. And then I'm going to get my 6 link. And when all of those things happen, all I have to do is start refining my endgame stuff, getting the rest of my crafts, my other 2 crafts I have to get, start sorting out the defense via getting Heartstopper, so getting our Uber Lab, and also getting Fortify and Hit. And once all those things are set up, it's from there it's just infinite scaling. And of course, we're going to get a lot more health too. I'm not going to be sub 3,000. I'm probably going to shoot right up, once I can start replacing some of this gear, like the Tessalio sign and these boots and gloves and stuff that all have no life on them. I'm going to shoot, at least 700-800 life up soon here. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you're having a great league start as well. Try out the new content. Try out those tips that I gave. Like a lot of the boss fights, it's the same as any game. It's just patterns to learn. You can do a bunch of them without getting hit. It's not that hard even as melee, especially when you're a cold-based melee build, as, chill and freeze are just blatantly overpowered for not getting hit by things. So, yeah, this has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye.